Yeah, it's all about the gel, and that's what we're going to see as we get into our second game. The picks and bans, please. We'll take it away right into Game 2 of London Conspiracy versus Team JusTus.
So once again, we're going to see Conspiracy as the first pick, first ban. Will we see a rinse repeat? I expect so. I don't think there's anything I feel Conspiracy needed to change as much. They're going to take away the hell again. Not a surprise, take it away from Sausage. I'd like to see if we see JusTus, though, pick up a Fenrir earlier this time round.
Maybe.
Just to try and pick it up for Sausage, potentially. Because Sausage plays a lot of Fenrir, just like, he's not his only god, but he was very comfortable on it. I believe they came into that game with a strategy for that sustained composition that they went for there.
Sausage's Fenrir is definitely very strong. We'll see if London Conspiracy able to first pick it or if they'll go with the Janus one more time. Arrow definitely looked very strong on that. So it's up to JusTus. Athena banned out alongside, again, the Wukong. So London Conspiracy clearly does not want to deal with that burst assassin.
Well, I mean, Wukong's a specialized one as well because he's either solo or jungle. Maybe they're jungle and solo not going to be too interested in picking that up. They're not looking for those sort of carry roles at the moment. Well, to be an extent, we saw the carry role coming out from Zashu that game. But to be fair, I expect you to go for the Warriors one more time in that solo. He did a great work that time. So take Wukong out if you're not going to pick it and you don't want to go with the aggressive option.
Makes sense. No, execute. Unless you see a solo Thanatos, but I don't know about that one. Circuit banned out from Team JusTus. Don't want to see that one showing up again. And with that, first pick goes to London Conspiracy. They're a game up here. Take a look at how they opt to pick for their next one.
Surprising bad with the Circuit there that time round. The reason being is because it was actually JusTus who drafted it last time round.
Yep.
Why would they ban it away? They're going to run their sustain comp again. They don't have to deal with the healing composition. You know, the anti-heal. Is that what they're looking for with that Circuit ban? It's not a top tier ban anymore. It's bannable, but there is other things available to ban too.
Yeah, I think JusTus, it just might be a god, and this is pure conjecture, it just might be a god that they don't like to play against. They tried to pick it, did not work as well as they'd like it to. That Deathbringer sort of on switch does come on a little late.
I can actually see potentially why they did that. It was to an extent a semi-throwaway ban because they banned Bellona last game.
Right.
This game round, they've left Bellona up so they could get Janus or they could get Bellona. On top of that, they're going to get Bellona, don't get Janus, but they do lock in Freya, so they take that one away from Shaggy Shank. Good calls. Good calls.
The Freya definitely came out to play last time around, so JusTus protecting themselves just a little bit, and Freya in her own right, a fantastic god, worthy of being picked up in the first round. So Team JusTus with Bellona and Freya. London Conspiracy, they're going to go ahead and pick up their Guardian this time around. Sylvanus undoubtedly going to Emilzy, and they have one more slot in the bank.
Where will that head, though? Because at the moment the mid's done. They're not going to pick the solo just yet, unless you're looking to play it really safe for him.
There it is.
Fenrir pick up once again. Saggy Sandal, like I said, last game, he did all right on that god. I think he missed a couple of Unchained, though. He blink initiated a couple of times, which was good. Didn't really feel like he died too much. His disengage was better than his engage in my eyes.
Very strong. The blink really just threw everybody off the mark. He did a lot of damage with Brutalize early on, and we saw some of that control with good Ragnaroks later on. And the Puch coming out from Team JusTus. Now, this character saw a little bit of a nerf. The huge ultimate will no longer slow, but it's still a huge ultimate.
But it's also to take into account what happens when he actually throws out that 3 ability on Puch. If anybody does get a heal on them after that dot damage ends, they will be stunned. And Wisps from Sylvanus, they hit everybody in a team. You can force an engagement just based off that.
Yeah, that's Puch's ability to poke really is absolutely incredible, not just with the 3 that'll certainly help against this comp specifically, but also with just the long range of his other abilities. Ra going to be banned out by London Conspiracy this time around. Good call, you said. They can't really pick it because of the threat of Puch.
That's the real reason. Ban it because you're not going to be able to pick it yourself.
Yep.
On top of that, you don't want Sausage to have it and sustain Puch. But not a surprise to see that we're going to see the Ymir locked in there for the boys of JusTus. They need extra CC to protect this Puch. When Puch is on the field now, it's all about protecting him because he has literally almost no self-peel.
He's comparable to Zeus in that sense,
literally
where he doesn't
almost no self-peel.
He's got no dash or jump or leap or I don't know what you want to call Nox's ability.
He's got a slow. When he throws out the zombies, he's got a slow on that. That's the only real slow he has. Doesn't have it on his ultimate anymore, so he's going to be stuck in a rough situation.
So we see the Neith. This is a character that had her day in the sun a couple of patches ago, and since then we've seen some more hunters, some more powerful in-hand hunters really sort of take the spotlight. Neith picked up alongside the Sun Wukong that did so well last match, though, Man. What is Neith going to be looking for here?
Neith and Anher, the two that do very well in lane against the Freya for the most part. Anher, very aggressive, can poke her out. What you'll see from an Anher is that the moment she pops Pulse to clear the wave, he'll just impale him. Right. Like, no, I'm going to outclear you. But Neith, what she can do, she can out-sustain the Freya in the early game, because Freya does get extra lifesteal from her passive, but Unravel will give her the lifesteal back, so her sustain back, but also lower the attack speed of Freya, which makes it more difficult to clear the wave.
That's the one I really like. I love the attack speed deficit on Unravel. It's really going to affect Freya, especially early on, before the Fatalis. The wave clear that is almost non-existent will hurt even more. But a little bit of a spicy pick for Team JusTus. Spicy in general, but not spicy for Sausage.
No, not spicy in general, but I mean, Sausage has actually started playing it a lot more now, and this makes sense in the composition we're going for. We just said we need frontline to protect our Puch. My only concern in this game right now is that Bellona's going to be not necessarily having to initiate, she's going to have to build some physical damage, because if she doesn't build damage, their whole composition is centered around a Freya and an Puch, and unfortunately, they both deal magical damage.
Even Cabrakan, who will be a source of damage. But
they're going to have to rely on Bellona to do some sort of physical, because if the boys of London Conspiracy recognize this and can shut Bellona down, they're like, all right, boys, let's all build magical, job's done, let's go home.
Very true. You got to be careful where you focus your damage outputs. Interesting start coming out from the Puch. The Soul Stone. Puch has very dominant lane control already. This is going to push that even more in that direction.
This is more for sustain in terms of mana. That's the biggest issue that you can have as an Puch in the early game. He uses a lot of mana early on, and he can run out very, very quickly. He'd have to trip back to base before he can go for the second round of rotations of second rotation of the mid Harpies. So he's got to be very careful, because if he overclaves a wave and tries to fight, he's not going to have any mana to continue farming. That's the issue with that. That's why you see the Soul Stone.
He's got to be a little bit careful with how he uses those abilities. Zephyr, you were talking about how we need to see a little more damage out of that Bellona. Well, she's going to start with a red pot Hindu man, so watch out. This Bellona will certainly have damage for the first 5 minutes.
Now, we didn't discuss what happened at the start of the last game because we were introducing the teams, but let's look at exactly where they're going to start. Well, this is the old school way coming out from JusTus here, where Puch is going to give him the red buff. Red buff will probably just, give him a little bit of an extra wave clear, especially up against the Janus early on. And on the other side of things, our London Conspiracy, they're doing currently, I believe that's called the Paradigm Start, it's the Paradigm Start, where they do the back Harpies and the speed buff at the same time and share experience between all 3 of them.
Yeah, you can see how everybody was clumped up on the minimap. That's because they dragged the camps to the absolute outside, allowing that range of experience to really hit everyone. This allows Arrow to look a little stronger in lane.
Yeah, they both turn up to the lane. You see a little bit of extra experience on Arrow, but it's not a monstrous amount. As you can see, they both hit level 2 pretty much identically there. But the portal does go down, a great poke, and that's going to be an issue going forward, because the boy in mid lane, Fex, has got to have to watch it, as he just popped a health potion already.
Right hand mid camps being fought over. Stun was good from Asagi Sandal. Good start for his day, but I think those mid camps did go the way of JusTus, as they were too deep. Bellona did show up as well. Poke coming out from London, but I wouldn't expect to see a kill unless there was a stun here.
I'll just keep an eye on it, because Brutalize can do a lot of damage early on. That red pot from Zephyr as well can do a lot. The pole down from Arrow. Still some poke coming out from Fexas, looking for more. Just got a nice little bit of poke damage onto him there as well. Left Harpies were already taken as well, taken into account. So at the moment, we're okay.
That's really where you have to be careful about the against this Puch.
Oh, this was a call for the back Harpies on the right-hand side from JusTus. Unfortunately, they're just a little bit too early for that. Oh, solo kill. Going to be going down. Vote MBK under the tower, going to fall down to Neith. And Sylvanus, the dot damage there, paying off.
Always got to watch those wisps. The wisps and the AoE basics coming out from Emilzi's Sylvanus can be a little bit hard to predict. So the first blood does go the way of London Conspiracy, taking down Vote NBK on that Freya. Zashu looking for the kill.
Zashu. I don't know why we're struggling with that name so
You messed me up.
Yeah,
you called him Zedru so many times.
Left-hand side, though, we're going to see Zephyr coming round for the rotation to try and pick up Shaggy Shank or Emilzi here. A little bit overextended. Good blink freeze from Argonath there. They're going to look for Emilzi. He's the one that's very slow. The consistent slow damage that's going to come out from Argonath. Soggy Sandal does get a kill on Sausage in the solo lane. They will trade out Emilzi over in the duo, and still London Conspiracy lead because of it.
I love how this just went down in the left-hand lane. You saw Zephyr come in, turn onto the Neith immediately. That was what her target was supposed to be, put Neith on her heels. And then JusTus made the call to focus the Guardian instead. Immediately, you saw Bellona turn around, focus right onto that character, and down it goes because of the focus. Love that quick snap target switch.
That was a big pickup, though, over in that solo lane, which we did miss the kill for JusTus and London Conspiracy, because we actually saw Soggy Sandal go over there, pick up the kill, and he was only level 4 at the time, as was Zashu. How did they manage to get a kill when they were both level 4? It's quite difficult, especially against a Cabrakan.
It's the poke. The Jingu Bang just has so far of a range. We saw Zashu really hitting the Cabrakan in the face with that earlier on. Sausage has to be a little bit more careful, I think, going into this one.
I mean, Sausage should be okay. The early game is where you see the struggles for Cabrakan.
Right.
He's still going to be the sustain. He's not really there for the damage late game, as we were saying. They've got a Freya and an Puch, right? He's just going to be there for the extra CC more than anything else and be a frontline tank.
Yeah, he'll find his damage peak during the mid game. I expect to see a decent amount of rotation coming out from that character just to be able to sort of put his power onto the other team while he still can.
So Conspiracy have come out of the blocks once again quite quickly. They got the same kill in the solo lane they got in game 1 pretty much at the same sort of time. The duo lane a little bit more active though, but you expect that Sylvanus and Neith gonna definitely have wave clear up against a Freya and a Ymir. And Ymir early game has to be very careful because if he uses the freeze, he's not got anything to really save Freya against the pull.
Right,
well, against anything.
Yeah, the pull. Yeah, exactly. Ymir really needs to be careful about
we're going
that
right
freeze.
lane onto Cabrakan. We're going to find him under the tower here. Zashu goes deep, takes 2 tower shots, 1 more. Would have killed him. But in the jungle, we're going to see some more.
Ultimate from Emilzy is going to knock everybody up just a little bit. Soggy Sandal forced into the ultimate just defensively. And with that, Zephyr will turn right around, start attacking Janus, but he'll be safely through the wall.
Zephyr can't find that kill, and the disengage happens from both sides. This is what we're looking for. Those
Freeze.
Initiation from Argonath is good, and that should be a dead tree. Fexes gets credit for the kill, which is important because they want him with those kills.
That was so quick. Again, this time around, JusTus looking very, very cohesive. So, as soon as the freeze was confirmed, everything came out. You saw the hammer from Bellona and the ultimate from the Puch. Beautiful cohesion right there to come out immediately, which is when you need it.
It's one of the things that we do over in EU with the Ymir. I mean, Ymir versus Sylvanus, you don't have the sustain, but you do have clear potential that's almost equal to a Sylvanus because of the Glacial Strike. Top of that, Blink Freeze, when you're already a slow character like a tree, and you get slowed because of all Ymir's ability slowing, then it's like, well,
there's nowhere to go.
I can't get away, guys. I'm sorry, I've not got boots yet.
Yeah, there's nowhere
and even
to
if I do
go.
get boots, I'm still slowed.
Still stuck.
Yep.
Stuck in the mud.
Stuck in the mud he was, so Emilzy falls for the second time. But he's not going to be too upset by that one. He did pick up the first blood, so the gold that he got from that has been invested wisely into the boots. It's going to help him enough.
Everybody's moving fast now with the boots on the side of London Conspiracy. JusTus, however, have not been able to finish just yet. Freya finished the Fatalis. So we mentioned last time around, Demo Grip is where she starts the avalanche and starts to really take off. Fatalis, there's a noticeable difference pre-Fatalis and post-Fatalis beyond just the passive.
Well, it's also for the... Oh, hang on, in the jungle, we're going to see Soggy Sandal find that kill onto Fexes, and that's the issue with Puch. You know, you've got to play super safe because if you get picked like that, you know, Fenrir's going to have a field day. He did have beads on and didn't use them.
Yeah,
Honestly, no, I'm lying. I think he just went back and bought beads though. Okay.
We mentioned
That's weird.
We mentioned Puch is like Zeus in the sense that there is no ability for him to get out of jail.
That's a big attempt over on the left-hand lane to pick up Vote MBK there. They didn't find the Whirlweave. If they did, that snipe was going to be on target actually coming out from Aero, which would have been a nice wombo combo. But they don't manage to find it for the time being. Vote MBK should be a little bit safer in this lane because of Fatalis, which we were just mentioning.
Right.
The mobility it gives you when you use your auto attacks means it's harder to get picked by the pull, but if you get hit by the root, then you're going to be stuck. It's a double root lane. That's the big key.
Yeah, so many routes, so many ways to keep your opponents stationary, which is a large part when you're trying to aim all of your abilities while they're fighting you back. Left-hand Harpies go to London Conspiracy unless Argonath has something to say about it, which it looks like he's going to be zoned out, so not too much.
Good wall from Argonath. It wasn't going to be anything more aggression from that. You just wanted to make sure we didn't see Emilzy go for the courageous blink initiations that he did last game.
Zashu versus Sausage. Sausage has suffered to death. Zashu didn't get credit for the kill, but he did pick up the assist.
He's really going to go for this?
Gank. He is.
Didn't get up into the cloud in time, but the rotation from Emilzy's good. Dash to the tower before the whisk off. Great call from Sausage. Great call. Make sure Emilzy does not get credit for that kill.
Love it, but now stuck in a little bit of trouble is Zephyr. Rally here, she says, but stuck right there. Emilzy picks up the kill with the basic. Argonath turns it around. Huge ultimate onto Arrow. Jumps in is Fenrir. Brutalize is good. Ragnarok is better. The basic attack seals the deal. Fex says going back to the crypt.
Good wall from Argonath there, but that's going to be the disengage for the time being. A good play from both teams though. We saw JusTus over in that solo lane. Sausage, after going down a kill like you said, picks up Zashu 1v1 before he could get to the cloud. And then the rotation from Emilzy was good. And actually picked himself up a kill because the boys of Conspiracy tried to collapse as well as JusTus.
I love that you pointed out what Sausage did, though. When Sausage went under the tower, realized he was clearly dead by Emilzy, turns around, gets out of the range of the basic, dies to the tower. What that does is, sure, Sausage gets all the negatives of being dead, losing the farm, having a death, not looking cool, but London Conspiracy doesn't get the boon of a kill.
When you get a kill, you do get a little bit of experience, and you do get a little bit more gold.
Yep.
Obviously, that's just the way it is. So he denied that from Emilzy there in that situation, which is a good call from him. On top of that, the reason he knew he was dead is because he had another tower shot coming in.
Yeah.
And if Wisps would have connected, which is all we would have seen Emilzy need to get to do it, he would have died. So he chose to take the extra tower shot, juke out long enough before the Wisps could connect, and drop himself down.
I'm loving this solo lane. I'm loving it.
It's a great fight at the moment.
There's so much fighting, so much action, and it's meaningful action. It's not that slap fight between Ra, as you said. Emilzy, though, trying to make something happen on the left-hand side.
Oh, Shaggy just telegraphed it, though, by walking so far forward. Now he's been aggressed on,
Not
and they
quite.
don't realize Emilzy's there. The backflip was good, though. Avoid the freeze, and it's all disengaged for now. Through space and time comes out as well, and they're not going to find it unless that pull hits. Great juke from Argonath.
Argonath just getting out of there real nice.
I think Argonath's having a great game this time on this Ymir. He's really competent with it. He's showing himself off. He's new to the scene as well, don't forget, and he's having a good time.
I like to see this aggressive style coming out of a lot of the European players. It sort of separates the Europe from North America in that sense. We do have some aggressors, but it's the world of Kanye life and Trix Tank over here in the European scene, and it looks like our Ymir player Argonath is going to fit right in.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, the way you try to say that is that we have more aggressive supports. We're looking to fight more as a support more than anything else. You get yourself in stupid situations. That's what EU does for the most part. Shouts to Frezzy of old on the Mortality days, because he used to just always go deep. Good pull, though, from Emilzy.
Nice
but now
dodge.
that pull's on cooldown, and now he's going to be walled in. He's in a bit of trouble here. Has he got reinforcements yet? Janus is coming, as is Soggy Sandal. That Will Weaver connected on Zephyr, and he's going to get dropped by Sandal, as Fexes does find the kill, but now the Ragnarok is on, and Sandal gets himself a double.
Double kill onto the
Oh,
dog.
triples?
Another stun. This could be triples, but Vote NBK turns it around. The bombs come
Triples.
down. One more shot. Arrow takes him out of the way. Everyone goes around
That's
the
Gold
cone
Fury.
of the freeze. The unofficial triple for the dog. Pretty please.
Gold.
That one goes the way of London Conspiracy.
They should be doing God Fury already here. Stop waiting for it. There we go. Good job,
Sausage is
Shaggy.
here.
We need to see Soggy Sandal sustain up because Sausage could pick up the kill. Who's tanking it? They've reset it to Soggy. They didn't want to do that, really. As Sashu keeping Sausage out. The reinitiation.
Dead.
They're going to find the kill him. He got aggro. That was the issue there. Now Sausage will go down, but will Shaggy as well unravel? The sustain is enough.
And London Conspiracy pick up the Gold Fury as well. So Sausage kills Soggy Sandal, which is big, but London Conspiracy kills Sausage in turn, and the Gold Fury, which is ultimately larger. What really stuck out there to me, which is all credit to London Conspiracy, no downside to Argonath. So Ymir's freezes the cone as we see Zephyr in a little bit of trouble. He should be all right. Vote NBK going to turn it around. Emilzy? Nah, he'll be fine.
I thought they could have re-aggressed there, JusTus, because they do have Ymir coming in as well. They could have looked for a bit more aggression onto Emilzy, but changed their mind about it for the most part. With Argonath coming in, though, maybe they'll go for it now. Blink, freeze. Emilzy's in trouble. Has he got the Wrath of Terror? Yes, he does. Going to knock him up. And immediately, Shaggy Shank backflips away. Is he going to use his Will Weaver to defend? Going to keep Zephyr out of the fight for a second. But with that initiation, and with Fexes there, they'll find the kill.
That's the police. But here comes London Conspiracy to make the response. Maybe a couple of steps too slow. Soggy Sandal, very fast, not fast enough. Does see his target, but not able to grab it. That time, there was no dodging. I was getting into how the cone of Ymir is very thin by by the delivery method. So if you go to the side of Ymir, you'll actually dodge easily, which we saw London Conspiracy do a lot last fight. That time around, Emilzy was right dead center, gets stunned, gets smoked.
So the gold lead at the moment, if you look in at the graphs, we'll see it's about 4,000 in the lead for London Conspiracy right now. Experience-wide, they've got a little bit of a lead. It's nothing too much, but that's kind of what we've seen in the meta so far.
Right.
The experience doesn't get too escalated. One thing for London Conspiracy, though, they are in control of this game, F-Top.
Yeah,
but that Gold Fury needs to be cleaner next time. They made a mistake.
Quicker.
Well, it wasn't necessarily quicker. It was Soggy Sandal getting aggro. They should never have let him get aggro. That's why he died. And he also was on a killing spree. So there was extra gold there for Sausage, who, well, he's going to go down now.
Sausage will go down, but will he pick up the dog first? Soggy Sandal says no. Sausage goes right into the ground. And I agree. This time around, London Conspiracy, the wind is in their sails much earlier. This is the 12th minute, Hitman, and they clearly have the lead. Later on, in the first game, we had to see much more Smite be played before he reached this level.
Yeah, I want to point out to Soggy Sandal as well, because last game I said he had a few things he needed to work on because we missed a couple of verdies. This game,
he's getting them.
He's getting them. Yo, he's getting the kills too. He's getting everything so far. Did die to that Gold Fury, though. I'm going to give Gold Fury the credit more than Sausage because he should have been tanking it. The trading and the hunters, though.
Backflip is good enough to slow vote NBK, and this is the difference between Freya and a hunter.
Arrow ulted. They're going to be able to find the kill here, I think. On the backside, Will Weaver comes out. The beads are good, but that beads is going to be delayed enough for Arrow to get in, force the ultimate. Beads and ultimate down for 2 ultimates. I'm okay with that.
No big deal, but the rotation is important, and now JusTus, they're heavy in the mid lane. Zashu with the perfect Ox, really using that knockup importantly to get himself out of trouble.
Mel's enormous found that. If he found that pick onto Argonath there, that was going to be a dead Ymir. They're going to push him mid, though. They have a couple of creeps there for a second or two. And the big key in these engagements now is that Millsy needs to watch when he uses Wisps.
Because of the outwash.
Because of the outwash, exactly. And we can see in this game as well that Fex says on this outwash, he's got some decent damage off, but he's struggling as there's an initiation.
Blink in from Emils, he's going to put everybody up in the air. Fenrir picks one up as well, brings him to the outside, but it's Sausage. He's relatively tanky. Doesn't matter, London Conspiracy says he'll go down anyway. Argonath in the back, using the ultimate to push everybody off of the tower. London Conspiracy, no respect. Arrow takes down Zephyr, no problem. And Zashu's being pushed out. Vote NBK, putting out so much damage from this Freya.
It's all poke, though, from JusTus. They don't have the damage to actually bring anyone down. They've just going to poke them low, and now the tier 1 tower is going to fall. Arrow going around the back looking for Argonath. Good blink from him to disengage for now.
Heads up.
That's just not having your menu open. Because I always am in my item menu.
No window shopping.
That happens to me all the time. But tier 2 tower now in the mid lane. That's going to potentially fall here as well. And that once again is exactly the same rinse repeat what we saw Conspiracy do last game. They won a big engagement. They took a tier 1. They take a tier 2.
Vote NBK putting out a lot of damage, but unfortunately as a Freya, your damage tends to be single target. Pulses AoE, but Irradiate takes it away. That's where we see a lot of that burst come out from Freya. So able to put really everyone down, including Zashu, who is the front line for the most part after the initiate from London Conspiracy. But LC just didn't care. Winds up taking 2 towers. And as we take a look at the graphs, 8,300 gold, 10,000 experience. London Conspiracy, they are driving this ship.
Yeah, and it's going to be a rough ask now for JusTus to get themselves back into it. Picks and balance-wise, I like their composition to an extent. When you draft Outwash, though, you've got to have the front line for him. He got picked a couple of times early. I mean, I know Granny's only died 3 times, but those early picks have really influenced it. On top of that, Sausage has been the primary focus from London Conspiracy in these games. Why? Because he's one of the old roster. And, you know, if he technically is going to be the leader of this team, I guess. I don't know exactly who the official shot caller is, but if Sausage is about that and you can put him down, drop morale, it's going to cause issues.
Also, a solo lane Cabrakan, sure, it's about control. That ultimate and Tremors do bring a lot of control, Hindu, but it's not straight control like a solo Hercules or a solo Ymir. Your job as Cabrakan is hybrid. You need to put out that damage. And if you're putting Cabrakan into the ground, he's not going to be able to get those big damage items that you want.
I think the problem is, though, is what we can see here is we've got 3 magical that are all building damage now. Sausage didn't go for any sort... I expect him to go like a mystical male, potentially, and go for the full tank front line build here. But he's gone magical, just like his Freya, just like his Outwash. And if they're all going to, just go build damage, they're not going to have any survivability. They need someone to be a front line, and it's not going to be enough with just Ymir.
London Conspiracy also got the note. You see the heart word built, but no sovereignty. And you see the Stone of Gaia on Zashu as well. So they definitely know their opponent is heavy on the magical damage side. Zashu, on the other hand, taking out a tower right in the face of Sausage. Really nothing that level 15 Cabrakan could do against Zashu's 17 Wukong.
Yeah, Sasha in a good spot once again. Go for pretty much the same build we saw last time. Go for it out. Start across the way by Conspiracy. JusTus should have an idea this is going on because of Emil's positioning here. But are they going to get themselves in a position to defend? Teleport in. Does come from Sausage, but is the Gold Fury going to stand? No, it is not. They're too late, and Sausage blinks in, but now he's surrounded.
Second too late from Sausage to get the Gold Fury, so he turns his sights onto the enemy. JusTus in trouble in the back line. Zashu picks up 1. Shaggy Shank picks up 1 on the front line. Sausage down for the count. Zephyr looking at Shaggy. No shots coming out of the Neith because she is disarmed. But even better, Soggy Sandal one-up Zephyr and takes him down while Vote NBK falls to the Zashu.
Doesn't manage to find the pull, but the Wisp is still
down.
on. He should die to the Wisps and those archers. Archers for the victory.
Zashu had that ability.
He had it, and he just chose not to.
He chose not to use it. Caster's curse.
I want to go for Phoenix here. I think they're too low to really go for the Fire Giant just yet.
Agreed.
If they take the Phoenix here, then back up, they can go back, buy, then siege the Fire Giant with this down. Argonath going to get picked in mid. Arrow takes 2 tower shots and falls. Arrow, the mistake was made, my friend. You should not have died then, and you know it. They do get the kill, but Vexus is up, Zephyr's up, and the Phoenix is still alive.
Phoenix will go down.
Is this a
Ultimately,
mistake?
Arrow is not the damage dealer. Shaggy Shank stunned out by Sausage. He's using Tremors in the backline. Zashu all alone, surrounded by 3 members of JusTus. Can they take down the Sun Wukong? Too tanky! Just the Stone of Gaia is enough for the Sun Wukong.
They had to continue chasing that. They should have continued chasing that and tried to find a pick onto somebody. Emilzy won't get out. That was lazy backing. He had his window open that time. He was shopping. Well, you can shop quicker now, son, because you're already in base.
Emilzy gonna take a timeout that time around. 34 seconds. He's gonna be in the timeout. Oh, that is an unfortunate death for London Conspiracy. That one was far preventable.
But they've got an opportunity as well here to potentially look towards the Fire Giant, do JusTus. Yeah, I mean, they could look to try and siege and pick somebody off. They've got a man advantage for about another 20 seconds. Why not fake siege it, fake start it, force someone in,
It's
try and
worth
find a pick?
it is worth a go. Now, it's important to mention the Emilzy pickup a couple of patches ago before the change of Hog. This would have been a free Fire Giant. You take the support out and you celebrate. This time around, in a world without Hog, JusTus, that's just a pick on a level 13 character.
I think the other thing to see as well, because of the golden experience lead, look at the active items between these two teams. JusTus at the moment have barely like 1 each, and it's not even a full active. Big opportunity here for London Conspiracy to go 2-0 at the start. They'll be looking for this one to give themselves a really good run at trying to qualify for the LAN, which is the top 4 teams go, and they get their shot at Worlds.
Shell being picked up on Emilzy as well, so while he won't be able to use his... Well, he'll have to be choosy about using the Wisps against his Opwash. The Shell, he can use at any moment in time, so that's going to be a good option for our Guardian on London Conspiracy to be able to have. Fire Giant started up already 50% low. Emilzy's going to play goalie, and this Fire Giant will go the way of the blue team.
Zone control is good. I'm going to see Zashu swing around just to support if need be. Maybe they'll look to continue the fight. The sustain from Wisps and the initiation from Emilzy is good. The wall is now on cooldown. They're going to force the beads on Vexas, who gets pulled in after the World Weaver connects as well. Argonath now surrounded by 3 thanks to Shaggy using the portal from Arrow. Argonath will fall to the in-hand, and now Zephyr, you better run, buddy, because the boys at Conspiracy are hunting you down.
That Shell is going to allow a lot of Conspiracy to walk right through the tower and focus onto their opponent, but immediately focus on the tower is what London Conspiracy will opt to do anyway. And with that Fire Giant around their waist, Hitman London Conspiracy looking to siege the right-hand side. This Phoenix looking to die.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything these 3 can do either to do anything. They're going to have to either initiate or give it up. Think it's going to have to give this one up and defend the Phoenix on the left and just hope they can hold, because there's minions forcing down middle here too.
Don't forget, yes, that middle Phoenix did fall.
They've got 2 Phoenixes down. They've got a tier 2 tower on the left, which they have to give up. They have to defend now with the whole team at this last Phoenix. I expect Conspiracy should back up here and buy.
And this is a much more commanding lead and what will probably amount to a more commanding victory for London Conspiracy than the last one. I think JusTus was really in it towards the last moment. This time around, London Conspiracy playing so aggressive with those blinks.
1,500 gold minimum each in the bank. They're not going to waste any moment of the Fire Giant. They feel they can look to end this here. Is this the mistake? Well, they've got the item and lead and the experience lead. Can they find the end Phoenix and win this game?
Argonath trying to make things happen for his team. Blinks in, but unfortunately, he's being punished. Beautiful wall will separate him from the opponent, but Arrow doesn't need space. He's got time. Takes him out with the unstable vortex. Now comes the counter initiation from London Conspiracy. Soggy Sandal picks up one in his mouth. Arrow fighting on the right side gets another. Janus versus the Freya goes to Janus.
And the Phoenix is still standing there, but luckily for them, it's Zashu who's tanking it. Minions have now arrived to bring it up as Sausage does look for the kill on Zashu. Not going to find it. Instead, he'll find his own death. And now we're going to see Will Weaver coming out, but it wasn't needed as Vexas falls, as does the hopes of JusTus taking their first game in the Pro League.
Huge cleanup from London Conspiracy as Zephyr does get a kill on a Zashu. Not enough to stop the bleeding, I don't think. Chaos Titan is being just absolutely slaughtered by London Conspiracy, and it will fall. London Conspiracy takes this one 2-0 above previously upcoming stars, now Team JusTus.
So let's look back over those 2 games. For me, London Conspiracy looking very strong right now. Still got things to work on though. Communication still needs a little bit of work there. The coordination between Soggy Sandal and Zashu in the solo lane, very, very strong. I like those 2 together. They seem to link up early and get themselves ahead. I'd like to see how they do when either of them are behind, though, because we didn't really feel that this game.
I liked what I saw out of Arrow. Love to see this guy step it up. He played well for London Conspiracy in the past, but I think this time around, with Suntouch gone, he understands, sure, I do have Emilzy, who's going to do a lot of the behind-the-scenes work, but it's important for him to step up as a mid laner. Did a lot did a lot of solo work as well. Let's take a look at First Blood, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see how this game 2 started off, and it started off strong. Started off in the hands of Emilzy.
We missed this over in the dual lane, but it's more than likely going to be a double route into a pull situation, followed by wisps is what I'm expecting. There we go, route, pull. There's the route as well coming out from Shaggy Shank, and there the wisps and the in hands will be enough to bring it down. I kind of read that without even seeing it. I was like, that's probably what happened, because route, wisps, pull, it's a good combination from them. The boys of the London Conspiracy did great. Let's talk about JusTus for a minute, though, here, because these guys, they've changed 3 members. I like what they've chosen to do with their roster in terms of like where it's looking right now. Some communication things need to be worked on, I guess, to work out who's going to shot call and lead throughout the mid game to an extent, or during the early stages. If Sausage is the shot call late, I'm not exactly sure on that. But the one thing they need to work on is their picks and bans. I feel that they went for too complex a thing too early on. They went for this protect the Puch composition. The team doesn't feel like it's fully gelled yet to go for a composition like that. Maybe they go for something a little bit more safer, a little bit more standard than running something so aggressive.
Maybe bit off more than they can chew. We'll take a look at how that develops throughout the season and see if they can really gel together to bring something new. But we've got player of the game for you, ladies and gentlemen, and this one went to Soggy Sandal. Now, we questioned how well the Unchained were coming out in Game 1, but in Game 2, it was a completely different story. 11, 1, and 8 on the big Woof Woof.
Question marks were on both the new boys for London Conspiracy today. Question mark on Zashu, question mark on Soggy Sandal. How would they handle the Pro League? How would they perform? And both of them have picked up MVPs today. So, yeah, I guess it's working out, this roster change.
Yeah, this one looked very good. I liked the way, as you said, I liked the jungle solo sort of bond that was going on there, and they're still new. So we're going to take a look at how that develops throughout the season. Again, just like JusTus, is what new rosters have to do, and we only see good things coming from it. Again, we've got your top 5 performers presented by Alpha Draft at the bottom of your screen, and no real surprise here either, Hindu.
Nope, Conspiracy going to be the top 5 there. They performed fantastically throughout that game. I want to really see how these boys do, though, up against some tougher opposition, some more established opposition that have had time to gel, the likes of Paradigm, maybe, Epsilon, those sort of teams. Keep an eye out to see how they perform there, because Zashu and Soggy Sandal had great games, but they didn't really fall behind. If one of them gets behind, I'm going to see, that'll really put the test onto them, really.
Should be exciting. Anyway, that's just one match of 4 that we've got coming at you. We've got some more European action. This is the fall SPL split. We'll see you soon.